Food.
Breakdown, respiration is breakdown of food using oxygen. Okay. Then what about breathing? Breathing is also respiration.
Breathing is inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide.
Exhaling oxygen. Then it's not called as respiration.
The action of breathing.
Okay, I'll clear. See, whatever she told, the breakdown of food to get energy by using oxygen is called as respiration. That is correct. See, here one point is there, by using oxygen. Okay, so from where do you get oxygen? By doing breathing, isn't it? By inhaling and exhaling. So respiration includes both breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. To get oxygen, the living organism should do breathing, or simply you can tell exchange of gases, exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So these two processes should happen to occur respiration. Mainly respiration is nothing but it is the breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. But to get oxygen, the animal should do breathing or exchange of gases, nothing but carbon dioxide and oxygen. So these two things we have to study. One is breathing, another one is breakdown of food. So this breakdown of food can happen, or breathing or respiration is of two types. Nothing but breakdown of food is two types. What are they? Aerobic and anaerobic kelidira. Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Anybody heard about this? Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay. Aerobic respiration means breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. Breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. It is called as aerobic respiration. Next is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means breakdown of food in absence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration means breakdown of food in presence of oxygen. Okay. Anaerobic means breakdown of food in absence of oxygen. Okay. Let's see the equation of both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay. So food is nothing but what we generally call, or chemically, that is glucose. Okay, formula is C6H12O6. So glucose that contains 6 carbon atom, because formula is C6. Okay, so glucose or nothing but the food that is present in the cytoplasm of the cell will get converted into pyruvate, that is 3 carbon atom, plus energy is liberated. Energy is nothing but ATP. Okay, so glucose, from glucose directly the animal can't take energy, so glucose has to convert into pyruvate. Along with the pyruvate, it produces the real energy that can be used by the cell, that is called as ATP. So energy in the form of ATP can be used by the cell. So pyruvate is a 3-carbon compound. So from the 6-carbon compound glucose, in presence of oxygen, and the reaction occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell, it is going to convert pyruvate, a 3-carbon compound, plus ATP is released. And if you consider there is presence of oxygen in the cytoplasm of any cell present in your body, what happens in presence of, for example, if here they have given the example of mitochondria. Mitochondria is also a type of cell, isn't it? So in mitochondria, there is a availability of oxygen. Okay. What happens? This 3-carbon pyruvate is going to further convert into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Again, little bit amount of ATP is released. So this reaction, glucose converted into pyruvate along with release of energy. Again, pyruvate in presence of oxygen getting converted into carbon dioxide, water with the liberation of ATP or energy. This reaction is called as aerobic respiration because breakdown of glucose and also pyruvate happens in presence of oxygen. Which screen you can see now? Textbook or another one? Something like 1 second, I'll share. Okay. Okay, this reaction, glucose to pyruvate, then to carbon dioxide, water, energy. This much reaction happens in presence of oxygen. So it is example of aerobic respiration. And consider some of the organism like yeast. So here breakdown of food occurs in absence of oxygen. That is anaerobic respiration. So what happens here to the glucose? Glucose, 6-carbon compound in the cytoplasm of yeast, it get converted into pyruvate, that is 3-carbon compound, and energy is released. And then what happens? Pyruvate is again undergoes division into ethanol, that is alcohol, then carbon dioxide, then energy is released. This is another type of production of energy, but in absence of oxygen. So this is example of anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration can be seen in animals or organism like yeast, and you should write this reaction. They ask, explain about aerobic respiration and give an example of animal that produce energy by using aerobic respiration. Then you can tell human beings or other higher animals. Okay, then you have to write glucose to pyruvate, then carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And one more reaction you can see, this is lack of oxygen. There is a production of energy in lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen means what? Oxygen is not available in sufficient amount. There is a scarcity of oxygen. It is available, but very little amount. So where such reaction occurs in the muscle cells of human beings. So we have muscles have muscle cells that also requires energy, isn't it? These muscle cells get their energy by this reaction. How? Again, they take up the glucose, okay? In the cytoplasm of the muscle cell, it is getting converted into pyruvate. In the muscle cell, usually very little amount of oxygen is available. That is why we tell it as lack of oxygen. So in lack of oxygen, what happens? This pyruvate, it is getting converted into lactic acid and energy. ATP is released. This ATP is used for the work, whatever activity we do, moving hands, running, jumping, for that energy is used. So this lactic acid will accumulate in the muscle cell and it slowly dissolves into the blood. Okay, so today I guess anyone has did heavy workout. Okay, so much of muscle activity you have did, and you can feel after some time or maybe in the next morning you will feel pain, isn't it? Maybe leg pain or hand pain or cramps. This can all occur. So why this pain occurs in the muscle means because of accumulation of this lactic acid, and I told it slowly dissolves. So as long as lactic acid is present in the muscle, you are going to feel the pain. So that is the reason when you do heavy exercise or you are doing exercise for the first time or you are doing exercise for 1 week, afterwards 1 week you are not doing, again 1 week if you started, means there will be accumulation of lactic acid that causes pain. So this much you should know. So breakdown of glucose can happen in absence of oxygen, in presence of oxygen, and also in lack of oxygen. So in presence of oxygen, where it occurs and what it is called. In absence of oxygen, what it is called and where it occurs. And in lack of oxygen, what byproduct we are going to get and where it occurs. All these reactions are explained in this. So this you should know. This is all about breakdown of food, nothing but breakdown of glucose. Next is about breathing or exchange of gas. So this is required because if glucose is undergoing aerobic respiration, means it requires oxygen. So the animal should do breathing, that is exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. So for this purpose, in higher animals like human beings, you have separate system that is called as human respiratory system. So let's see about the different parts. So you have nose, okay, then nostril. Nostrils are nothing but the two openings present in the nose. Then you have mouth cavity, then you have pharynx, larynx, then trachea, and in the trachea you can see some C-shaped structure is there. If I draw like this becomes your nose. Okay, then here comes your pharynx and larynx. First part will be this much you consider as pharynx. Remaining this much will be larynx. Next comes trachea. Trachea has cartilage. It is C-shaped structure like this. In the diagram very neatly you can see, textbook diagram. Then what happens? This trachea will be divided into bronchi. Okay, there will be two bronchi. One will be right, another one will left. Next you can see this is bronchi. Okay, this two. Then you can see bronchi is further divided, isn't it? These are our small branches. Okay, I can draw here like this. So I'll draw like this. This is called as bronchioles. And at the tip of bronchiole, you can see small balloon-like structure, isn't it? At the tip of bronchiole, you see balloon-like structure. It is called as alveolar sac or simply alveoli. Alveoli, or it is also called as air bag. Then, of course, you have lungs, isn't it? You can see one is right lung, another one is left lung. Okay, here it will be there. So these are the different parts of respiratory system. You have nose or nasal passage, pharynx, larynx, trachea, then bronchi. Bronchi is further divided into bronchioles. Okay, so from the trachea, your right bronchi will enter to right lung and it will divide as bronchioles, and the tip you can see balloon-like structure that is called as airbag alveoli or alveolar sac. Then left bronchiole will be enters into the left lung. It is also divides into bronchioles, and at the tip you have alveolar sac. So the part is clear, isn't it? And here you can see the enlarged view of this bronchioles and the alveoli. And surrounding alveoli, you have blood vessels. So each alveoli has blood vessels like this. Here I can show one. For example, if I draw, this is one alveoli, and here you have your bronchioles, okay? And surrounding this, you have like this blood vessels, okay? So like this. So each alveoli has blood vessels. So this much you remember. Next, we will see how this breathing occurs. So from the atmosphere, the air is inhaled by nose, okay? Then it passes into nostrils, okay? In the nose, what you can see, if you look your nose in the mirror, you can see hair-like structure, correct? What is their purpose? It filters or purify the air. So if dust or any foreign particle is present in the air, that get filtered. So filtered air next enters the nostrils. So in the nostrils, if you touch inside your nose, you can feel sticky substance that is present inside your nose. So that is because of presence of mucus present in the nostrils. So this mucus helps in the purification of air. How? The dust is present in the inhaled air, the dust is going to stick on this mucus. Thereby the air is filtered and next it enters to the pharynx. Okay. In the pharynx, what happens? You might have seen epiglottis. Have you heard of epiglottis? So if it is a pharynx, along with that you also have your esophagus like this. Remember esophagus. And you have one structure like this. Here they have not shown. So what this epiglottis do? When you take the food and swallow it, this epiglottis will close your windpipe and allows the movement of food in the esophagus. That structure is present in your pharynx. Okay. So from the pharynx, the air moves to larynx. In the larynx, you have voice box. Okay. From larynx, the air is going to enter the trachea. And I told it is made up of cartilage. Here they have written rings of cartilage. So what is the purpose of this cartilage? This cartilage protects the trachea by preventing the collapse. So it is a long tube-like structure. When the air go inside and come outside, there is a chance that the trachea may get collapsed. So it should not happen. For that purpose, it is made up of rings of cartilage. It is like C-shaped structure. So like this. Okay. Now what happens? Air that is present in the trachea will goes into left lung and right lung, or you can say it enters the bronchi, then enters the bronchioles, then at last it enters to the alveoli. So in the respiratory system, this alveoli is considered as functional unit, where exactly the exchange of gas takes place. Okay. Now, for example, I guess I have inhaled the air. So from the atmosphere, which air I have got or which gas? Through the nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchiole, and alveoli. I have inhaled the air. So now which air is present or which gas is present within the alveoli? Carbon dioxide or oxygen?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, correct? From the atmosphere, we are going to get oxygen. So this oxygen is now present in the alveoli. Okay. And also I told it is surrounded by the blood vessels. So I have marked one blood vessel in the red, another one is in the blue to differentiate blood with oxygen, blood with the carbon dioxide. Okay. Now what happens? Already we have studied the first step in the respiration, that is breakdown of food. So you are going to get ATP. Along with that ATP, what was the byproduct? Carbon dioxide, isn't it? That we don't want. We want to exhale it outside the body. So each and every cell break down the energy and produces ATP along with that byproduct, that is carbon dioxide. All this carbon dioxide will be carried to the blood, to this alveoli. So this blue colored blood vessel always carries deoxygenated blood, nothing but blood containing carbon dioxide. From where we got this carbon dioxide? By breakdown of energy. So now what happens? One side you have blood vessel that contain oxygen. So this oxygen present in the blood will enters into this blood vessel, and this blue colored blood vessel that containing carbon dioxide will give its oxygen to alveoli. Sorry. So now what happens? In the blood vessel, instead of carbon dioxide, oxygen is present, and in the alveoli, instead of oxygen, what you have right now, it is carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide will be exhaled outside to the environment through your nose. Understood? So you can see exactly gas exchange occurs in the alveoli. That is why it is called as functional unit. So from various parts of body, the blood containing oxygen will finally reach into this alveoli. So this blood will give its carbon dioxide to alveoli. Alveoli gives its oxygen to the blood. So now what happens? Blood becomes oxygenated blood, that is containing oxygen. This will again circulate to different body parts. So now again cell get oxygen, it can break down the food and again produce carbon dioxide. Again it come back to the lungs, get purified, again go to the cell. So this is your respiratory system or respiration, breathing. Understood? Correct. So this is about the respiration in human beings. Same way the plants also do respiration. Okay, plants also do respiration. So for respiration in plants, they require oxygen only, like human beings, they require oxygen. So from where they get oxygen? Plants get oxygen from
photosynthesis.
photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis reaction we have studied. C6H12O6, carbon dioxide, giving glucose plus oxygen and water. So this oxygen that is released during photosynthesis process will be used by the plant for their respiration process. So in the plant, the respiration can occurs in different parts. Can you guess? In human beings, we know separate system we have that is called as respiratory system. In plant, can you guess which part is involved in the respiration? Respiration means you should know exchange of gases. Okay. Where it occurs, exchange of gases, which part in plant? Leaves, correct? Because they have stomata, pore. I told when we explain the stomatal structure. So in the leaf, you can see the exchange of gases. Then in the stem also you can see, because stem has specialized cell that is called as lenticels. It is also kind of pore. So there you can see exchange of gases. And also in the root has root hairs. There also there is exchange of gases. So how this exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen occurs in plant means by simple diffusion reaction. So diffusion reaction means movement of gas from a high concentration to low concentration. Okay. So for example, if you consider plant, it is, and in that leaf we will consider. So in the leaf, photosynthesis is occurring and it produces lot of oxygen. So in the leaf, you have very high concentration of oxygen. So what happens? It gets or it goes outside the environment by diffusion. Nearby the leaf, whatever the environment you have, that might have very less concentration of oxygen. So to that it goes from the environment where you have high concentration of carbon dioxide, and in the leaf, if you compare, it is less. What happens? Carbon dioxide moves into the leaf. So by simple diffusion reaction, the gas exchange occurs in the plant. So this is how the plant do respiration. So you should know what are the different parts that is involved in the respiration: leaf, stem, and root. So if you consider the daytime, which reaction is going to happen in the plant? In daytime, respiration occurs, correct? Respiration should happen each and every time, day, night, whatever. Also in the daytime, what can happen? Photosynthesis, isn't it? So in the daytime, oxygen will be released outside the plant, whereas in the daytime, photosynthesis does not occur, only respiration is going to happen in the plant. So what it gives outside the body or outside the plant, it is going to give the carbon dioxide. This you should remember. In the daytime, both reaction is occurs, respiration and photosynthesis, and oxygen is give outside the plant. And whereas in the night, you don't have sunlight, so photosynthesis process will not occur, only respiration occurs. In the respiration, byproduct what you are going to get, that is carbon dioxide. That is why carbon dioxide is released outside the plant. They may ask during night time which gas is released from the plant, and during daytime which gas is released from the plant. So this you should remember. So this is about the respiration. Okay, this much only you should know. Next life process is transportation. So we have studied now in each cell the food will or the glucose will undergo breakdown and produce energy. And this energy should be transported to each and sorry, there was internet problem. I hope you can hear now. Okay. Can hear me, right? There is no voice breakage. Okay, next life process is a transportation. So this transportation in human beings occurs by blood and lymph. Okay, transport system or circulatory system in human beings. So transportation system or circulatory system in human beings composed of blood vessels and lymph and heart. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನಿಮ್ಮದು.
ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ ಮಳೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ. ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ in human beings. Transportation is the next type of life process. So what things need to be transported in the body? Nutrition, then gas, hormones, etc. Things should be circulated to each and every part of body. For that, in the human beings, you have separate system that is called as circulatory system. Okay, so this circulatory system is made up of blood vessels, lymph and heart. So about all these you are supposed to study. Okay, first we will see the blood. So blood, as you know, it is liquid in nature. Hence, it is called as liquid connective tissue. Okay, and the blood is made up of blood plasma. I'm writing in the chat box. Plasma, okay, and blood cells. Blood is a liquid connective tissue that helps in the transportation. Okay, what carries? Blood carries food or energy, waste, nutrition, gas, everything. It is carried by the blood only. So if you see the blood, it has two components. One is blood plasma, another one is blood cell. This plasma carries carbon dioxide, then food and nitrogenous waste. Then we'll come to the blood cell. Blood cell is three types of cells you can see in the blood. That is red blood cell, RBC, white blood cell, WBC, and platelets. These are the three types of blood cells present in the blood. RBC, red blood cell, WBC, white blood cell, and platelets. So RBC contain a pigment that is called as hemoglobin. Okay. So this hemoglobin carries oxygen. Next cell is WBC. This WBC is involved in the immune system because WBC fight against the virus and bacteria. Whichever bacteria and virus that enters into our body will be killed by WBC. Hence, it is involved in our immune system. Last cell is platelets. This platelets helps in the blood clotting. You might have seen if there is a small cut or wound in your hand or any part of region, blood flow can occur, and after some time immediately it stops. Reason is blood clot. So this blood clot occurs because of the platelets present in the blood. So what all things we have studied now in the blood? Blood is a liquid connective tissue. It is made up of blood plasma and blood cells. What is the function of plasma? It carries nitrogenous waste, carbon dioxide, and food. Next, about blood cells, there are three types: RBC, WBC, and platelets. RBC contain one specialized pigment called hemoglobin that carries oxygen. Okay. Next is WBC, that fight against the virus and bacteria, hence involved in the immune system. Next, you have platelets that is involved in the blood clot formation. So in general, if you want to say what is the function of blood, you can write all this. What thing? It carries food, it carries oxygen, it carries carbon dioxide, it carries nitrogenous waste. Functions of plasma, RBC, WBC, platelets, if you write, that becomes function of the blood. Next, you should know about blood vessels. Okay, blood we have studied. Next is blood vessels. There are different types of blood vessels. Okay. I'll write down in the chat. Artery. Okay. Veins. Then capillary. So three types of blood vessels you can see: artery, veins, and capillary. So arteries are further divided into arterioles. That is a small branches from the artery. Artery is a big vessel. Okay. From that further division occurs. How you have bronchi and further it is divided into bronchioles. Same way the artery is further divided into arterioles. Similar way you have veins. It is divided into venules. Then you have capillary. Capillary is nothing but a very thin or narrow blood vessels that is supplies blood to the organs. Nearby the organ you can see blood vessel, that is capillary type. Okay. So next you should know how you can differentiate all this: artery from vein from capillary. So if you see the artery, always artery, they carry oxygenated blood, that is blood containing oxygen. But there is one exception, that is pulmonary artery. Okay, pulmonary artery that carries deoxygenated blood. All the artery carries oxygenated blood. There is one artery called pulmonary artery that carries deoxygenated blood, that is blood containing carbon dioxide. And all the artery, they have very thick wall. If you see their wall, it is made up of very thick cells and they are elastic in nature. And always blood moves with very high pressure in the artery. And artery don't have any valve, valves, valves. So valves are nothing but some structure that prevent backflow of the blood. So always in the artery, blood will move in one direction. There is no back flow. So for this purpose, you have valves. So such